Hi guys, welcome to Victor Science Hub. Today we are going to be talking about motion in physics. So, motion is a very broad topic in physics. We are going into the meaning of motion, the types of motion and their examples. Now let's hop into the meaning of motion. Now motion is defined as the change in position of your body with respect to time. Now if you want to identify motion, first check these two words: change in position and change in time. These two words must be there in order to know if something is in motion. So now let's look at the blade of a fan. Now the blade of a fan is turning. Now, what will you say that the blade of the fan is in motion? Yes. Why? Because the blade of the fan is changing its position with time. So you know that if a body is in motion, it changes its position and the time also changes. That is a way of identifying motion. So now I'm going to give you some examples of motion. We have revolution of the earth around the sun. We also have a ball moving from one player to another. These are examples of motion. Now we are going to go into the types of motion. The first type of motion we have is random motion. Random motion is an irregular or haphazard movement of a particle or an object. It can also be called Brownian motion. Now, some examples of this type of motion are the movement of small particles in air, the movement of gas particles, the movement of particles suspended in water. Gas particles, do they move in a particular direction? No. They just move in an irregular manner. You find out that they don't have a particular direction. So to know if is in random a motion is random motion, you identify if the particle or the object is moving in irregular or haphazard motion. So that is way of identifying random motion. Now we also have translational motion, the second type of motion. Translational motion is defined as the movement of a body from one point to another without rotating. Now let me give you some examples of translational motion. We have the movement of a car from point A to point B, the movement of an athlete from point A to point B. You find out that in this as this motion is undergoing, the body is not rotating, so you know that that is a translational motion. Now we are going to go to circular motion. Circular motion is defined as a type of motion in which the body moves in a circular path. Now we will look at the rotation of the earth around the sun. Now you find out that the earth is moving in a circular form around the sun. So also the movement of the pendulum, when the pendulum is wide around in a circular path, that is also circular motion. So you find to identify this type of motion, you have to know if the body is moving in a circular path. The fourth type of motion we have is oscillatory motion. Oscillatory motion is a regular periodic to and fro movement of a body from one point to another. Example of this type of motion is the movement of a simple pendulum when it's on a fixed point. Now when you wire that simple pendulum, while it from one point and you leave it freely to move, you find out that it moves in a regular form. It moves one point in a particular interval of time. For you to know oscillatory motion, you have to identify the word regular or periodic. The last type of motion we have is rotational motion. Rotational motion involves the movement of an object on an axis, causing it to spin or rotate. Examples of rotational motion are the spinning of the wheel of a car, the spinning of the blade of a fan, rotation of the earth on its axis. You find out that to identify rotational motion, you have to check if the body is on a fixed axis. You find out that the earth is always on a fixed axis and is always rotating, so it's undergoing rotational motion. Rotational motion is different from circular motion. In circular motion, the body moves in a circular path, but rotational motion, the body stays in a fixed point, that is its axis, and it's rotating. So that is the difference between circular and rotational motion. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe, and give me your questions in the comment box. Thank you. Bye bye.